And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Bryson. And Bryson writes, "Hey, John, I just saw that on James Gunn's Instagram on a post how he got the new Xbox sent to him early, that lucky son of a bitch, by Microsoft, which looks pretty cool, that he said he is in Canada now for a 2-week quarantine before production starts on Peacemaker. They just announced this show a few months ago, and they are already going to be filming soon. I didn't realize that they were this far into the process already." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yes, James Gunn, who I like a great deal, he did put up a post talking about how he got the new Xbox sent to him. So he's got that, which is keeping him company as he's now in a 2-week quarantine in Canada. Now, for those of you who do not know, if you want to travel to Canada right now from the United States, well, you better plan accordingly, because they're not just going to let you in to come in and do anything willy-nilly. You've got to come in and then instantly go into quarantine for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This is actually why, unfortunately, I was unable to attend my grandfather's funeral, who just passed away shortly ago, because I was just never going to be able to get there in time for it and be able to get outside of the quarantine window. So James Gunn is in there now. And it wasn't even months ago that they announced the Peacemaker show. Of course, Peacemaker is the John Cena character in the upcoming Suicide Squad film. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, Rob, that they announced that they were going to be doing on HBO a Peacemaker standalone series. And yes, James Gunn is already down there now. This isn't going to be shooting in 6 months or in a year. He is in Canada now doing the quarantine thing to be ready to start shooting Peacemaker pretty much immediately. Now, for a number of people, this does catch folks off guard. It's like, isn't this quick? But first, let's take a look at specifically what James Gunn did have to say about this. James Gunn said the following: "Lovely gift from my friends at Xbox. Of course, it's the busiest time of my life between 2 movies and a TV show, but perhaps I'll find some downtime as I begin my mandatory 2-week quarantine here in Canada for Peacemaker." So yeah, this has caught some people by surprise. Say, wait a minute, already? Aren't they rushing this? Rob, this once again highlights to us the fact that by the time we hear about this type of news, it's already been there for a long time. We talk about the Ben Affleck thing. When he was first announced as Batman, he was actually agreed to play Batman several months before that ever happened. Usually when we hear things, unless we hear specifically that this just happened, usually when we get this news, it's something that's been in the works for a long time. We just saw Deadline talk about that they're going to do a Boba Fett series, and they may start shooting next week. Well, guess what? They're not rushing that. That's probably been in the works for a year. It's just that we hear about it now, and it's a good reminder of this. But Rob, now that it seems imminent, they're getting ready to shoot this damn thing. What do you think? Were you caught off guard by this news that they're going to shoot it right away? And where's your expectation level right now for Peacemaker?
Well, first of all, look, when I first heard the news, like probably everybody else, I was like, wait, what? You know, the Peacemaker character goes back a long way in DC history. I think I bought a Peacemaker miniseries in the 80s. In fact, I know I did because I just found it. The thing is, I'll bet you that when they were shooting this movie and Warner Brothers first saw dailies coming in, you know, we've talked a lot about John Cena looking for the perfect vehicle for him to play. I'll bet you it went down something like this. They started seeing dailies. James Gunn was, they looked at his performance. They saw John Cena play this specific character. And for whatever reason, Cena finally hit it. The magic was there. And James Gunn realized it. The Warner Brothers execs were watching dailies. And this was, by the way, they've been making this movie for the better part of 2 years. So this probably happened, I'll bet, over a year ago. HBO Max is looking for stuff. They're looking for what can we do? How can we tie things into movies? Suicide Squad hasn't even come out yet. So this probably was something James Gunn suggested. He was able to, of anybody, probably write this script faster than anyone else. And he had a great working relationship with John Cena. HBO Max is like, yep. The same way they made that decision. We heard about the decision being made for the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League back in November of last year. It's been a year since they were talking about doing it and started discussions. We didn't know until, March or April or something. And I think that this has been in development for quite some time. They fast-tracked it. They love the scripts that James Gunn wrote. He probably wrote a 2-hour pilot or something. And they said, let's make it. I mean, look, people forget, we've pretty much been in lockdown since March. And while they've been working on editorial on Suicide Squad, probably via Zoom or something, I don't know. I mean, that's how people are editing. And people have work to do. Creative people don't rest on their laurels. You know, they're doing 10 different things. You made a movie during this time. Remember, I mean, that's how it goes down. And I think I love seeing this because it makes me excited for these shows, because then people are all on board. I think that what we're going to get is something special, something really neat.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to it. Question is for you guys. Were you taken aback by this news that they're actually getting ready to shoot Peacemaker now? What do you guys think about it? Are you looking for Peacemaker?
Peacemaker, the new...
That's the new Clint Eastwood superhero movie, Peacemaker.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about this? Jump down in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.